Am I live?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
hello,
think so.
everybody, and welcome to Thunder and Lightning Gaming. I'm Thunder,
And I'm Lightning.
and today, oh boy, we're gonna chat. We're gonna spill all the tea on every topic that you could ever want to.
Sounds good to me. Hey, Toga, welcome on in. Thanks for joining us.
So, before we want to announce everything right now that we were talking about on the
Yeah,
phone.
we certainly can.
Okay, so before we get into today we're doing podcasts. We're going to do a regular podcast which contains pop culture news, and we're going to do a video game podcast which contains video game news and opinions. But before we do that, we wanted to talk briefly about on Monday we had a Mario Kart tournament, and it went super well. It was our longest stream yet. It was our biggest event yet, and we would like to officially announce that was our we're calling that our winter event, and we're going to have a summer event, and we're gonna the goal being to have one each winter and each summer, and they will get more elaborate as we grow as a channel.
And completely different from each other.
Yes, the next one will absolutely not be a video game tournament, although I don't think we're ready to announce quite yet what it actually is going to be.
But it's video game adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a wild concept that we're still working on, but I'm so excited for it. It's very unique. It's something you haven't seen before, and definitely
guaranteed
haven't seen here before. Fire Striker says, "Huzzah!
Huzzah!" Speaking of Fire Striker, that is, if you don't know, Fire Striker 1899 in chat is Monsoon, aka Pauline, who is going to be streaming by herself. Right? By herself?
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I might pop in once.
Yeah.
We live together.
On Tuesdays, starting the next calendar Tuesday.
Woo!
So look out for that. Pauline, unless Chris knows, what time? Give me a
Oh, I'm gonna guess 6 is when she'd want to do it.
Yeah, hit us with a
though.
time in chat, and hit us with what game you think you're
Yeah.
gonna start with, so we can hype it up a bit. And then
we'll send a reminder at the end of this stream.
Yeah.
We'll mention it again.
And also, in that same vein, if you've been watching the channel, you will know that me and Ben went live a few Wednesdays ago. We didn't go live this Wednesday because Ben had a work thing, and then Chris and Pauline and I have D&D the next 2 Wednesdays. So Ben and I are going to get back to it, but I think after that, starting with, let me get the actual date, it should be right here, starting with the 6th of March, that's when me and Ben are coming back. From that point on, assuming I don't have D&D or a show I'm flying to or something like that, when Ben can't make it, I'm just going to stream something by myself so I can fill the dead air. And is that everything?
That is everything we wanted to announce. Thank you so much to everybody who showed up on Monday to the Mario Kart tournament. Thank you, everybody who was in the room. Also, I'm pretty sure the whole stream will be a YouTube video sooner than later.
Oh, it can be if that's what we want to do.
I mean, it was our 5-year YouTube stream. It might as well be.
Okay, yeah, I can work on that. I don't know how big of a download that'll be, but I'll figure that out. I'd say 7 p.m. and I'm playing Pac-Man World Repack.
Cool.
So that's what you can look forward to on Tuesdays. I'm excited to see the summer event.
Just you.
Oh, you were if everything goes according to plan, going to be participating in the summer event. But just real quick before we move on, I want to give a quick shout out to Battle Mode.
Yes.
Thank you so much to Battle Mode for our what we were calling our halftime show. Battle Mode sent us a little 20-minute video of them playing music just for us. They mentioned us by name in the video, and we got to put it on during our stream. Maybe with their permission, we can upload that to our YouTube channel also.
Yeah. I'm thinking just uncut, unedited, just upload that whole stream.
Well, yeah, I think the stream, but also if we could get their performance separate in a video. But yeah, I just put a link to their.
I see what you're saying.
I just put a link to their link tree in chat just now. So go check them out. They're really cool, and they were super, super, super nice of them to do that for us. So now that all that is out of the way, let us podcast.
All right.
So This is the flagship Thunder and Lightning Gaming podcast. We're going to talk about our weeks, and then we're going to talk about any relevant pop culture news. And by relevant pop culture news, I mean Deadpool 3. So, Chris,
yes.
how was your week was?
How was am I?
What's that shit from Big Lebowski? It's like, oh no, it's not Big Lebowski.
It's from
like
Metalocalypse.
Yeah, it's like when you can't even or something.
It's a job interview, and they ask, what can you most can't the least?
That's right. Every time I forget it, you say it, I'm like, that's not words.
It's one of the non-native English speakers is like, I want to ask a question. And they're like, fine, and that's what he asks, and he just has a big smile on his face.
That's awesome. That's
Very
the same.
proud of
That's the same energy as the kid who's like, "What did you do? You did have him do you so much you could do anything."
Have him do you so much.
That's what he lands on. He lands on have him do you so much you could do anything.
Yeah, it gets a little weird. I didn't know if I was the only one who noticed that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like 3 watches away from memorizing that shit. Are you kidding me?
My week was good. I have a huge announcement, which isn't even new news, but it's something I want to bring up here. This time next Friday will be Lions and Lavender's debut single release.
Oh shit! Oh, just a single though?
Yeah, just
okay.
A single. We're gonna be releasing singles every other month, I think for the entirety of 2024.
On?
Everywhere you can find music.
Even YouTube?
I believe so.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, look out for that. Maybe we'll next week we'll do a bigger promotion than just saying that is happening.
Yeah, if we could, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll make a whatever for it. But yeah,
cool.
That's exciting. I've been waiting. The people have been asking for it.
I know. Have you gotten a sneak peek of the songs yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
right?
I've gotten plenty of sneak peeks.
Yeah.
They're great.
Thank you.
The sneak peeks were great, and I'm sure when they're actually finished, they'll be even better.
I'm super excited. We've gotten a lot of interest in these songs, and I think we did them justice in the recordings, and I'm excited to hear how they sound. That's the big news happening in my life right now. Beyond that, I feel like there was a story I was going to give, and I cannot for the life of me right now fathom what it could be.
Do you want me to talk about Katsucon, and if you remember it, we can get to it afterwards?
Yeah. No. Please, let's go that route. So,
okay.
Anthony, how was your week at a con?
Yeah, so I went to Katsucon. Katsucon is weird because it's in Maryland, but my hotel was in Virginia because it's like right on the border. Here's what I'll say about Katsucon. I liked it. It was cool. The exhibitor floor is definitely not the main attraction of this convention. So it was smaller, which was nice. And it was less crowded, which was nice.
Is it a big celebrity con?
No, it's a big cosplay con.
Oh.
There was a lot of cosplay photo shoots. There was a lot of cosplay competitions. There was a lot of cosplay meetups. It was a huge... So Katsucon takes place at the Gaylord National Hotel in Northern Harbor, Maryland, which is, no shit, the most beautiful hotel I've ever been to.
Yep.
We did go on
Nailed it. That is what I wanted to talk about. You keep.
Oh,
I can bring it up later.
Got it. Yeah, so the Gaylord National Hotel is the biggest, most beautiful hotel I've ever been to. It's practically an amusement park. Yeah, so the exhibit hall was pretty small. All of my issues, like usual, are with organization. So I fly in Wednesday night. Con starts Friday like it always does. So you'd think we're going to have all Thursday to set shit up. Nope, because the Gaylord National Hotel had an event going on midweek that cut into our time. What kind of event was the Gaylord National Hotel putting on a fucking Wednesday? Who knows? But because of this, we, and by we I mean every exhibitor on the entire floor, no matter how big of a company they were we're not allowed to load in or set up until 7 p.m. Thursday night.
I feel like there's got to be something in the contracts that negates that happening.
You'd think, right? So 7 p.m. no one can load in or set up until after that. We get a loading dock pass for 8:15, and we don't get our stuff to our booth until, I shit you not, 10:30 p.m. So the hall is open until 12, but they let us stay there until 1 a.m. and then it reopened at 8. The con was at 12. So the con, I can't stress this enough. I have to paint exactly a picture of what I'm talking about. So on Friday, the con went from 12 to 8 p.m. for some fucking reason. So we're there at 7, ready to go. We can't load in until we don't get to start setting up until 10:30. We're there until 1 a.m. We obviously weren't finished. And then people are going around like, oh, we're closing at 1 a.m., but you can come back at 8 a.m. to help set up. Cool. Thank you, Gaylord National Hotel. So I'll sleep when I'm dead, I guess. So I got to bed at 2:30, and I woke up at 7:30 so we could be there at 9 and finish the booth so I can then work an 8-hour shift at a con. None of this is my company's fault. It's all the fault of the event organizers, and I know what you're thinking. This is crazy terrible. This is not something that usually happens at a con. Come to find out that Katsucon is not run by Fan Expo or Penny Arcade or Reed Pop. It's run by the Gaylord National Hotel.
Oh, shit.
So they're doing everything in-house. So
they anticipated every move, or should have been able to.
They should have been able to anticipate every move, and they should have been able to not overbook, and they should have been able to, like, they're also, like, doing whatever they want, I assume, because they feel like they can get away with it.
That bit of information leads me to my one comment, which is having the cosplay con at the Gaylord Hotel is definitely a choice. Definitely a roll of the dice. How many people might get bullied for going to the cosplay contest at the Gaylord Hotel?
If you think about it, the whole hotel is booked right now by con goers.
Oh, no, I'm not saying in the hall, but if it's, I don't know, I could see a high schooler being like, I'm so excited for the con, and some dick's like, where's that?
Yeah.
It's at the Gaylord Hotel. I don't know, hopefully high school's different than when I went, but I would definitely be a bit fearful to tell people I'm going there.
Fair point. But yeah, so everything was run in house, and I feel like they were overcorrecting in a way because, like, so we get there, and when I get to a con, typically it's usually just me because the rest of my party is off doing other important things. So I go to the con and I go to the front desk and I'm like, hey, I'm here from this company, and they're like, do you have proof that you're here for this company? And I say, yes, I do. And I pull up an email from my supervisor that clearly says, like, sanchi@whatever.com. And then they're like, okay, here's 9 badges that you ordered by. And I was like, cool, thanks. At this one, we roll up. We needed an affidavit that we forgot at the hotel because we didn't think we'd actually need it, so we had to go back. We needed to show, each one of us needed to show our state ID or driver's license, and we needed a QR code that they emailed to us.
We would have been fucked if we tried pulling what we pulled at PAX Unplugged 2 years ago at this con.
What was that? I forget.
Just letting me and Pauline hang out on
Well, that's
Saturday.
the thing. Yeah, you couldn't have. We didn't have extra badges. Not that we needed them, but we didn't have extra badges because you needed to be there in person to pick up your badge with your QR code. That's not how it worked. So I feel like they're trying to be really professional and they're overcorrecting. And now it's like, well, what the fuck? Just do it the way Reed Pop does it. Like, what are you doing? Why are you making me do all this? No, it's not.
Okay.
So yeah, so that wasn't great. Everything else though was fine. With the convention, like I said, the Gaylord is beautiful. It's just the lobby is like, or not even the lobby, the atrium, I guess you could call it, is like. Is everything good?
Yeah, it was a bunch of stuff that I think has nothing to do with us.
Oh,
That's
okay.
What I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, it could have been a work email or work message.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but other than that, the con was fine. It's not in this room. I got another Miku figure. There was a lot of different figure shops, so I was like, now is the time that I would buy a figure. So I made a list of characters that I like would be comfortable buying, and I found the Miku figure that I was trying to find years ago. And it was $125, and I was like, that might be a little much. And then I found,
for the record, these are statues. Also, I really want to try to shut this off if I can.
Here's what I can do, if you don't mind me.
Sure. We're just getting pop-up notifications left
Are
and
they
right.
from my work?
Yeah. I also don't know if people can hear them.
Then let me just
Oh.
have this open
Okay.
so that it
You won't make that noise.
It shouldn't. If
Sure.
it does, I apologize.
No, that's fine.
We might just have to deal with it at that point, because I don't want to sign out. I don't remember the login.
That's fair. Not knowing login.
But yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, so I wanted a figure, and I bought one. Oh yeah, and I found a different one that I was like, that I've heard about before, and it was even more expensive. So I found one for $50, which was pretty
Nice.
standard.
I'm
price.
sorry, you might have answered the statues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the figure,
Yeah.
Miku statue. She's dressed like it was in not English, so the only words on the box were Alpha Princess and Arabian. So she's dressed
What else
like
do you need?
she's sort of dressed like Princess Jasmine. But yeah, I made some new friends. I don't know what their I forget what their thing is called, but
Those
I
are
found
particularly
the
tiny.
tiniest dice I've ever seen. They're very, very tiny.
Wow. Do you know what these would be perfect for?
Those little tiny dice towers we got from It's Getting Dicey.
Well, yes. Oh, it's a good point. Where is mine? I need it. I need it literally the next session we play.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yes. Yes. They would also be perfect for the Grung Princess Queen
Oh, okay.
lady.
See,
If you ever had to make a roll for her.
See, I don't typically assign dice to characters.
Interesting.
The only time I did that was with the final boss in the last session. But what I've been doing is because I have so many new packs that I've gotten from cons and stuff, I'll just open a new pack at the beginning of the session and use it for the whole day.
Oh.
That's kind of what I've been doing.
I always assign
Well, you
dice
also
to
play one character at a time.
True.
And I typically am playing anywhere between 5 and 20. So yeah, only the big ones. Like Baldur will probably get his own special dice, but
Cool.
yeah. So that was that. I see you say that must have been a nightmare. I don't know exactly what part you're referring to, but it was a nightmare. And I want to stress that wasn't my job's fault. Everything else was fine. It was just like that one like 7 p.m. Just kidding. It's 10:30 p.m. to 8 a.m. kickflip that I did over the weekend was not appreciated. And then this con, because of course they can make up their own rules. It was 12 to 8 on Friday, and then it was 10 to 7 on Saturday, which is a 9-hour shift.
Okay.
And then it was 10 to 3, which is normal hours on Sunday. And Breakdown actually wasn't that bad, believe it or not. Against all odds, Breakdown wasn't that bad. And I ran into 2 things. I met Erica Lindbeck, my favorite voice actor of all
Nice.
time. She was very nice. I don't have a picture. It's not really my thing. I got her autograph. And I ran into his name is Cent. He's from AGDQ. He's the guy who goes over the donation prizes every hour.
Okay.
I ran into him, and we chatted for a bit.
Very cool.
I've met him before, and he's very cool. And as I was walking away, his friend was literally teasing him, because I think right before I walked over to him, he said something along the lines of I'm not famous. They won't recognize me.
Love it. Love it.
So that was fun. And then I got my roommates. I convinced them to watch the Streamer Awards with me, and the Streamer Awards were very good. And I have things to say about them, but
Did we not get our invitation?
We didn't get an invitation. No, we also didn't get nominated for anything. But I'm not really surprised. Question for you: How much news other than Deadpool 3 do we have?
Fantastic question. That
Because
I don't even really know.
What I'm thinking is, if not much, why don't you tell your Valentine's Day story, and then I can talk about the Streamer Awards, and then we can talk for a bit about Deadpool 3.
That Sounds good, assuming there's no news. Doing a quick scroll. A Knuckles TV show got announced. Don't know if you heard about that or what.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it was announced a while ago. What we got was a trailer, and the trailer looks fine.
Then yeah, I think we'll just talk about Deadpool and shit.
Cool. Then yeah, let's move on to your Valentine's Day story.
Cool.
You did a food tour. Not even sure what that means.
So, I found it. I found it online. Me and Pauline, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We celebrate the day we met.
Right.
The way I like to put it. Oh yeah, Fantastic Forecast has been announced.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that for a second.
So we always try to do something special. This year it fell on a Wednesday. And she took the day off, and I had the day off. So I saw this. It's
meanwhile, I'm on a flight to Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. It's a walking food tour of the North End in Boston.
Okay.
Do you know much about the North End?
Just give me like a one sentence reminder.
It's as authentic as you can find Italian food.
Oh, okay.
Is what it's best known for. Every corner is like every square 5 feet has Italian food. And it's an Italian community, which is cool. It's still, I think he said, like 60% Italian in the North End, which is cool. So it's not just in name alone.
Oh, cool.
That
like residents.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
But so I was like, that sounds like fun. So what they're gonna do is we're gonna get a tour of all the like niche, North End restaurants that people wouldn't necessarily know about.
Yeah.
Like there's Mike's Pastries and Polcari's. Those are 2 North End places.
Right.
And the dude
Polcari's is also like there's many of those.
Yeah, the original's from the North End.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Didn't know that. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, we actually saw it. Dude razzed on Mike's Pastries the whole time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he was like, there's so many better cannolis in the North End.
Damn.
And we had them. But anyways, so I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but so it's a walking tour, so we're going to be walking around the North End.
Mm-hmm.
It is February,
and
it does start at 10 in the morning.
Okay.
So we get up at like 6 to get ready to take the T to go to the North End. We're an hour early, which so we walked around.
Not the worst place on planet Earth to be an hour early.
In the way this thing was set up, it was like meet us at the carousel in front of this place, and we were like, okay. We go there. And there was one dude standing in front of the carousel. We went over, talked to him. He wasn't our guide, but he was another guide waiting for another group.
Oh, okay.
We do eventually get our guide. We start the tour, and it was really cool. So the first thing he brings us to, we literally go down a back alley that had to be this wide.
Okay.
And we're walking down it. In the back of this alley is a door that leads down to a basement, and in that basement is a bakery.
Okay.
And we get Parmesan infused bread.
Nice.
To start.
Hell yeah.
And we go up to
Sounds
the back
great,
to the top.
Actually.
Because you can't sit in this bakery. You have to go back upstairs. And we did. And we started eating. And he was like, by the way, the guy who owns this bakery kind of started things off in the North End here when he was super young, back in like the, 50s or so. And when we get back out to the main street, I'm going to show you a couple of other places he owns. And so we finish, we go out, and he was like, so the dude who owned that bakery, right? We were like, yeah, he owns that place, that place, that place, the place behind us, and the place we were just at. And that's just what's in our eyesight right now.
Jesus.
So this guy's just fucking Mr. Italian North End. And what he said, and I really didn't believe him. He was like, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. Mm-hmm. He's always out talking. I figured this guy was dead. He was like, I can guarantee you 2 things on this tour. We're going to have a great cannoli, and you're going to meet him.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. So we're walking around. He must have pointed out 3 other places that this dude owned. And we're looking in front of a shop, like looking in, and there's people there having food and stuff. He was like, "This is this place. Oh, by the way, there he is." And he's literally just in the corner, like sipping tea and stuff. And we just wave at him, and he's like, just this old Italian man enjoying his morning.
How old would you like?
He had to be in his 90s, 80s, 90s.
Wow.
Oh yeah. But imagine the fucking money he makes. He's got to own 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 restaurants.
Right.
In the North End. Fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But it was also cool because he was giving us the history of the North End in Boston and shit while we were going. We did end up going into a place to get a cannoli. Me and Pauline got hot chocolate. You can get a cappuccino or a hot chocolate. It was so fucking good.
Nice.
But when we get into this place, he talks to the waitress, and he was like, "Hey, we were gonna go in back," and she said something to him I couldn't understand, and he was like, "Yeah, no, we'll be on the bottom part," and she was like, "Okay, cool," and we go back there, and there's like, chairs set up in one of those situations where it's like it could be a stage, but they have a bunch of tables up top on it.
Okay.
And there was this one dude sitting in the middle. He was on his phone the whole time we were in there. Had no food in front of him.
Okay.
But he was just sitting there. The waitresses didn't bother him. I think that dude's connected. He's either the owner, which I know he's not, because he pointed out it's not the dude.
Oh, okay.
That would have been hysterical, but it's not the dude. But he did point out the owner of that place who was out front. But this dude just sat in the back and was on his phone the whole time we were in there. We had that. That was super good. We got a really awesome Italian sandwich from a sub shop, and then we went to Ben Affleck's favorite pizza shop in the North End.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was really good. And then we got out of the pizza shop. We walked down the street, and he said, well, that's the end of the tour. And see all these empty buildings? The whole street was vacant. He said, fucking Italian mayor of North End just bought this whole fucking block to put in restaurants.
Oh.
The dude from the beginning of
Oh,
the
my
story.
God, wow.
Yeah, it was like, oh, my God. This guy's going to have, like, 30 more restaurants come next year. When's enough? And the coolest part, I will say the coolest part about that dude is, like, he could live in Miami. He's got enough money now. He could live wherever he wants.
Oh, right, yeah. He could still be conducting
world.
this business and not be stuck in Boston.
Yeah, and he was like, he lives right in the North End.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
No, that is cool. And it sounds like he just picks one of the restaurants he owns to visit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wouldn't you?
Like that's of course I would. Are you kidding me? That's the coolest part of this whole story.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the streaming awards now. We're getting into pop culture news.
Yes. Before I did that, I did want to say I, as part of my Maryland trip, I went to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't want to talk about it much. It was fun, but it was just so hilarious to me that like you're downstairs and you're learning about the Wright brothers and you're learning about automobiles and stuff like this, and then you go upstairs and you're greeted by Luke Skywalker's X-wing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not real.
Says you.
That's not real. They had an Enterprise. They had a whole Star Trek like thing. Okay, so Streamer Awards, 2020, whatever year it is, happened. And it was really fun and entertaining and great. And it was my first time watching it. And I wanted to talk about one thing in particular. So there was a lot of streamers nominated for a lot of things that I was excited about, and most of them lost.
Oh.
And the other thing about the Streamer Awards that is not Cutie Cinderella, the event manager, it's not her fault, but there was a lot of people not there who won. So it was like, and now let's cut to a video message. And just in general, like, if you're nominated for a thing, maybe try to show up.
Oh, I know.
Because 2 people who were nominated for 2 different things won both those things, and then we had to watch 4 videos. And it was just a little bit like, I don't know. So, best fighting game streamer of the year is up, right? It's 2 people who everyone would recognize their names, but they weren't there. It was Etoile, who is a French Smash Brothers streamer who I've never heard
okay.
of. And then it was Maximilian Dude, who is one of the biggest fighting game streamers of all time. How are we doing on frames and stuff?
We haven't lost any.
Oh, okay, cool.
The video looked kind of weird for a second, but we're good.
So Max is up. I love Maximilian. I've been a fan of him for years. He's been doing this for a long time, and I was like, he deserves it, hands down. He doesn't win. Etoile wins, so at least someone who was there wins, right? And I'm unfamiliar with this person. He seems great. He probably has such a huge French international following. But I was a little disappointed because Max showed up, and he even said this on stream afterwards. He was like, it's clearly not my scene, but I was honored to be nominated, so whatever. So that kind of sucked. He lost. And then, so they were going in order, so you could tell what award was next based on the nominations. And Cutie, the host, she takes the stage. And I was like, why is she... Something's happening. And then she starts announcing the Legacy Award, which is something I didn't know about. The Legacy Award is one of those awards that you can't vote for. It's just voted for by like her and the people who run the event. Last year it went to Germa, I guess. This year it went to Maximilian Dude.
Oh.
And I thought that was like so cool. He didn't expect it. It was one of those things where like it's a secret to everybody until she starts to like tease who it is in her like announcement speech. And then there was like this big video of like everything he's done over the last 15 years. It was really cool. I really feel like that award that I didn't even know was a thing until it was happening couldn't have gone to a more deserving live streamer. And that made me really happy.
Cool.
And the streamer awards were great, and everyone should go support Cutie Cinderella because she does this shit on her own, and she got a lot of there's a lot of unwanted, unneeded drama leading up to the streamer awards. It's just go support her, and the streamer awards were great. Now,
yeah.
Let's talk about Deadpool 3. My personal favorite Super Bowl commercial. I didn't watch any of them except that one.
I love Deadpool with hair, and I love that it's a wig, and I love that he's trying.
Dude, did you see that he stapled it to his head?
That's familiar. I didn't remember on the spot, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. So the trailer was great. It showed a lot, and there was a lot it didn't show, which I really appreciated. If there's a second or third trailer, I might not even watch them because
was Colossus in this one?
Yes.
Okay.
He was in the party at the beginning.
Yeah.
So a few things I want to talk about with Deadpool 3. One, a lot of people have noticed that both what's Star-Lord's name? What's his real name? Peter. Both Peter, the random guy that they're...
Yeah.
Peter and Shatterstar were at that party. So he clearly brought the X-Force back to life in some way.
Well, at least... Oh, Shatterstar, that's the super cool one that dies immediately?
Yeah,
the alien?
The alien.
Yeah,
yes, he's like, I'm from Planet Mojo World.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't even notice him.
Yeah, so people are theorizing that Brad Pitt's in there somewhere.
Oh, shit.
Because they show a photo briefly, and there's like space for someone to be, and they think that's where Vanisher is.
Love it.
I really love what they're doing with the plot. I feel like there's a few different comic book plots you could pull from or not pull from, and it seems like they're doing a like Deadpool kills the Marvel Cinematic Universe thing, which is a thing from the comics. It started with Punisher. Punisher had like a target on a high profile X-Men, and then like he ended up having to kill like most of the Marvel Universe, and then Deadpool took over that series, and he used his like fourth wall breaking powers to so I'm really glad that they're doing that.
I think it could really tie together what's been some pretty loose ends in cinematic series that you and I both really love that's kind of been on the rocks a little bit as of recent years. I think of all things Deadpool, it just with the TVA and him, like we're already seeing that the multiverse is going to be involved,
right,
in this trailer.
Yeah,
it's exciting because it feels like they finally are doing something that like you and I are sitting here like, man, wouldn't it be crazy if this happened?
Right.
Literally last night, Pauline finished Spider-Man. I said it like Sean Connery. Spider-Man 2, the video game, and I was like, wow, this is super cool. This is such a cool Venom story. If only it happened in any movie. But if that's what I feel like this Deadpool movie is gonna be.
Well, yeah, I think that this Deadpool movie, and I saw a few different people analyzing this trailer. I think this Deadpool movie is going to have an emphasis on canceled/failed MC projects. So like, there's a scene where you can tell that Wolverine is playing poker. That's obviously not Wolverine. That's going to be Patch, who's a multiverse version of Wolverine, right?
Cool.
But if Patch is there, who's dealing the cards? Probably Gambit, right? And then then you ask the question of like, which Gambit is it going to be? Is it going to be Gambit from X-Men Origins Wolverine, or is it going to be Channing Tatum? Because there was going to be a Channing Tatum Gambit movie that fell through and it was never made. So people are theorizing that they're going to do a lot of like dead or failed Marvel projects across, Fox and MCU. If you notice in the scene where he does the like cool gun thing that he does, he's standing in front of the 20th Century Fox logo.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't it destroyed?
It is. Well, it's not destroyed. It's just buried, so you can't actually see the F or the O. All you can see is the X, which like X-Men. People are theorizing that woods, the snowy woods area that he's in, is the snowy woods area from Age of Ultron.
Wow.
So people are theorizing that he might save Quicksilver.
Oh, shit.
And then you have the question of like, well, who's going to play Quicksilver?
Right,
Is it going to be ATJ or is it going to be Evan Peters?
Ooh. If he saves Quicksilver, that could really hook Scarlet Witch being a bad guy.
Yeah.
She might, maybe that, I don't know if I'd like this, considering we just had to sit through all this fucking shit, but that could even, like, retcon WandaVision.
All of WandaVision,
like
yeah. Potentially.
Because as long as she has some form of it really feels like the reason all that happened was because she had nobody left in her life.
Right.
Bringing her brother back could really change things up. Langwell says, I just remembered the announcement of X-Men 97 returning.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool as well. Can't say I've ever seen an episode of the original, but maybe I will now that is happening.
Are we still going to watch the X-Men movies in preparation for the Deadpool movie?
Were we going to do that? We can absolutely do that.
Let's do it.
The other interesting thing about this Deadpool movie is that if you look at their release schedule, this is the only MCU movie coming out this year.
Thank God, finally.
Last year it was 4. Next year it's going to be 4, but this year it's just Deadpool 3.
I haven't even watched Echo.
I haven't either, only because it released at a weird time. But I am definitely going to watch it.
I'm marveled out.
I will say you shouldn't watch Echo unless you've seen Daredevil, it sounds like.
Oh, okay. I'm certainly
it
not
sounds like
I
don't.
No, that's fair. I'm not, but like, I've had so much Marvel shoveled in my face. I'm not going to go find more in preparation of this. I'm not going to go find a canceled Netflix show. Is it still on Netflix? Or did they bring it over to Disney?
No,
Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. It is canceled, but they are bringing that Daredevil character back in a sequel TV show specifically for Disney Plus.
Okay. So they're reviving. The new Daredevil show is going to be a revival of that Daredevil.
It's already confirmed 4 returning actors are. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Daredevil's good. I'm not saying don't watch Daredevil. Definitely watch it if you want. But I'm also not saying watch it right now so you can watch Echo, you piece of shit. Like, take your time, obviously. But Daredevil is good.
I believe you, and I will check it out. It's just like, I'm already lacking motivation. I'm not going to go watch another show just to watch
Right,
this
of course.
Marvel's gotta pull me back in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not completely out, but I'm floating away, and they gotta.
Just because there's been too much content, or
too much hit or miss content.
Okay. Well, the last 2, last 3, if you count Loki, I feel like we're pretty good. Guardians 3, Loki, and Marvels.
Sorry, let me come back. I'm excited for Deadpool. I'm excited for the movies. I don't want to commit to TV shows when at least 2/3 of them have sucked so far.
Interesting. Okay, that is a different from what you were just saying.
Well,
but it
I
makes.
want to specify. I'm burnt out.
There's a car outside.
Yeah, I'm burnt out on Marvel TV shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've just about given up on Marvel TV shows.
That makes
the movies. I've been pretty consistently like okay, we're gonna go see it, right? It's in theaters. Let's go see it.
Yeah,
that's never changed. But these TV shows, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll watch it.
That makes a little more sense. Did you watch What If season 2?
No.
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there was they definitely did release Echo like a week after.
Yeah.
What If?
No, and they released What If like 2 weeks after the Nick Fury show ended. It felt like
the Nick Fury show ended before Loki even started.
I'm sorry, Loki. I feel like What If came out like a few weeks after Loki ended.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Loki, yeah. Say what you will about the TV shows and how some of them have really sucked.
Loki was
Loki
cool.
season 2 was, I think, the best thing they've ever done.
Loki season 2 was cool. I don't trust, but like I have trust in Loki. I have enough background, not just with that TV show, but with the character in the franchise and the IP that it's from.
Yeah.
To say, okay, yeah, I'm excited for Loki season 2. Something cool will happen. I don't have that for anything else that they're dumping into these TV shows for the most part, and they're just nonstop.
Yeah,
I have been. Nonstop.
If you look at the lineup for the TV shows, none of them sound super exciting on paper. We have that Agatha Harkness show. We have the Ironheart is getting her own show, if you know who that is.
Yeah, I actually might watch that because she's probably coming out of Black Panther 2, my favorite new character.
Yeah,
from that show.
Yeah, Ironheart. Ironheart's really cool in the comics, so I can only hope her TV show is also good. Yeah. So, no, I think this Deadpool movie is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it'll be good. I think that they're making all the right decisions with this trailer. They didn't even show Wolverine, even though the movie is called Deadpool and Wolverine, which we haven't even talked about yet. They changed the title for this trailer. Or they announced the title change with this trailer. It's obviously not rated yet because that is what happens like last, but it's clearly going to be rated R, which is exciting. Because there was a big conversation about like, will it, won't it? And I'm excited. I think this Deadpool movie is going to be a better multiverse movie than the one that has multiverse in the title.
I agree.
Like Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, I will say I really like that movie. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's the best multiverse story, and I think we're about to get that.
Yeah. Well, and I think the reason we're about to get that is because Daredevil. I just did the opposite of what you did. Deadpool, the character, the writers, the IP, on screen and off, are not afraid to break the timid rules that have been set by everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever the writers were for Doctor Strange, or just the franchise itself, were like, oh, well, Doctor Strange, yeah, he'll show off a few cool things, but like, yeah, we're not gonna blow the load in the Doctor Strange movie.
Right.
But Deadpool, it's like, well, if you're gonna make it,
blowing loads is Deadpool's whole thing. I'll say it.
in for a nickel, in for or whatever the fuck that's saying.
In for a nickel, out for a dime.
Yeah.
That's why I take my breaks on company time. That's the rest of the.
Yeah. My point is though, like, if you're already in for it, if you're already making a Deadpool multiverse movie, make it fucking slap.
Oh yeah,
make it crazy.
Yeah, and I think this is the best possible way to introduce the Fox IPs and whatever you're planning on doing with them into the MCU. Just rip the Band-Aid off in the most direct way possible by having Deadpool just be Deadpool and be like, yeah, fuck it. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I'm really excited. I think we're gonna see. Obviously, they teased like, oh, he's gonna be in Avengers 1, and he's gonna be in Civil War, and he's gonna do all this stuff. I think we're gonna see a lot more than that. I think we're gonna see him in like. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in like Albert Pune's Captain America from the 90s or whatever. You know, like I bet you like all bets are off. You know, I bet you Venom's in this movie. I bet you Loki's in this movie. Like, there's no rules with Deadpool. No. It could be it could be anything.
What do you think the odds are of Spider-Man being in the Deadpool movie? I'm gonna say close to none. Unfortunately,
really? Why?
It's just the tedious contract between Marvel.
Well, what if Spider-Man's not played by Tom Holland?
Oh, what are the chances a Spider-Man could show? Well, okay, hold on. Great point. I still think it counts because all three of them are owned by Sony. Like, I still think
Exactly. And which Spider-Man?
No, it would be cool. I don't think that's one of the like 3 movies that they're going to sign, that they signed off to have Spider-Man in.
No, that's fair. Also, I don't know if that's necessarily how the contract works, just because I don't think they made that public. I think all they said was 3 more standalone Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But my only counterpoint, and this is a spoiler for Across the Spider-Verse, but Tom Holland was in that movie, so clearly the border we've put up between these two companies is like breaking down.
I hope so. That's what we thought for the longest time, and then they just said fuck it.
Right.
And so ever since then, whenever it's like, oh, you think Spider-Man's going to show up, I'm just kind of like, no.
Right.
As much as I'd love it.
I mean, I think it's going to happen. The fact that all 3 Spider-Mans and Venom were in that Spider-Man movie, the fact that what's that dude who played Birdman? The guy who plays Batman.
Why can't I think of his last name? Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Not that you and I watched this shitty fucking movie, but Michael Keaton's Vulture was in Morbius, and then Tom Holland's Spider-Man was in Across the Spider-Verse, also with the other 2, and that other thing that I won't even tease, the live action character that like is in the scene and he's behind bars, and you're like, whoa, that's kind of a Homecoming reference, and but I think we're gonna get a cameo. I think we're gonna get a Spider-Man cameo. Don't know who's gonna play Spider-Man. Don't know which Spider-Man it's gonna be. But I have a feeling that if this movie is what I think it is, and it's no rules, just right Deadpool, and it's just like completely, there's no like in the last movie he shot himself in the back of the head for completing the Green Lantern script. Like if we can do shit like that, then yeah, put Tom Holland Spider-Man in Deadpool 3. Have him like in the first X-Men movie doing something there, being inappropriate, Have him go to the universe that the old shitty Marvel movies are from. Go to Eric Bana's Hulk. Like, it seems like there's no rules.
Right.
Especially when we're talking about Deadpool.
I have a lot more to say, but okay, we're in a universe where we're pretty certain Spider-Man is going to show up. Which Spider-Man do I want? That's just the question posed. That's definitely Tom Holland. I think
absolutely.
They would have amazing chemistry together. Tobey Maguire wouldn't be fun. Andrew Garfield would be okay. I don't think he'd be as good as Tom Holland. Those are my reasons. I
think if we're talking character chemistry, absolutely Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool would play really well against Tom Holland's baby boy Spider-Man. I think that a close second is Andrew Garfield. Definitely, like, if we can't get Tom, let's definitely get Andrew. But that being said, like, it could be quite literally anything. Like, it could be Shamik Moore as live-action Miles, for all we know. Like, it could be literally anything. That's what I'm hoping for with this movie. This is what I wanted from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wasn't a tremendous flop like the Justice League was, but Justice League and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness both had, like, a slew of rumors that made the movie sound way better. Like, I thought that Deadpool was going to be in Multiverse of Madness. I thought that Loki and Sylvie were going to be in Multiverse of Madness. I thought it was going to be this huge epic, and then it just wasn't. which is fine. The movie's still good. I like the movie. I can't stress that enough. I really do love Multiverse of Madness, but I think this movie's going to be that.
As cool as this individual movie is probably going to be, I think it could also stand as a really good stepping point for Marvel. I think this is the movie funny enough where they could get their shit together. Even if there's, not that I want them to directly retcon anything, but even if there's some things where they're like, we went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
Deadpool's gonna course correct.
Oh, I expect some clear, like, Deadpool is going to wreck on this left turn into a right turn scenes. Like, I expect things like that. Like, I'm fully expecting, like, what's the one thing people didn't like from Ant-Man 2?
Right.
We're going to fix that, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
What's the one part of Civil War, great movie, made millions of dollars. What's the one thing people didn't like? Let's fix that real quick.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think we're going to see some stuff happen in this movie that's hopefully going to put Marvel back on solid ground. Also, not to put too many eggs in the Deadpool basket, but it really feels like all of part 5
Of what?
Marvel?
Phase 5.
Phase 5.
Which is the one we're in now, correct?
We just ended, I think.
No, I think we just ended 4. I think we're starting 5 with now. I think we're starting 5 now.
Let me rephrase that then. All of Phase 4, I felt like they were really looking for a new Iron Man. What I mean by that is a new character everybody can love.
Right.
I think it was planned to be Spider-Man. I think Tony swept Spider-Man under the rug, and then they were like, we're going to hold off on Spider-Man being the new top dog. I think Deadpool could. Not that I want Deadpool to be the main character of the MCU, but I think if they want a familiar face to keep people in the door, he's already got enough credit in the cinematic world to keep people coming.
Yeah.
So I just don't want him to... I don't want it to be like Deadpool shows up once every 5 years when we make a Deadpool movie. I'd like to see more Deadpool.
I think if this movie goes a certain way, I think Deadpool is like... I think there needs to be a clear delineation, and I think come like Avengers 6, I think Deadpool's a huge part of that movie, but he's like definitely not on the team. Like they make that a point of being like, no, he's not on the team, but he's like a big part of the movie. Because they're doing Secret Wars. After Kang Dynasty, they're doing Secret Wars. And like
Kang Dynasty might not even be Kang Dynasty anymore, by the way. I don't know if you heard about that.
Well, yeah. Whatever ends up happening, they're doing Secret Wars.
Yeah.
They actually teased, I don't know if you saw this, they teased Secret Wars in this trailer, in the shot where Deadpool is on the ground and with the shadow of Wolverine over him, and then he gets... There's a comic book there's 2 things over to the left of him. It's a bottle of the soda that Ed Norton Hulk bled into and killed Stan Lee. From his movie.
Yeah.
And then there's a comic book. It's Secret Wars number 16, cover art by Alex Ross, which is I guess the comic where like Secret Wars like shit hits the fan, like it's the really important one. So they're clearly like, this is clearly going to in some form be a Secret Wars setup, even if Secret Wars is still planned for like 2027 or something like that. Like clearly they're sowing the seeds of Secret Wars, and do that with Deadpool. Absolutely.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
So real quick before we move on, we're gonna. They did announce the Fantastic Four cast.
Yes.
Not to keep it all Marvel news all the time.
I do want to hear about it.
But so these 4 people have been rumored for quite some time, and the rumors were true. We have Eben Moss Bachrach as the Thing. Not familiar with this actor. Apologies. We have Vanessa Kirby as the Invisible Woman, who was in Hobbs and Shaw. We have Joseph Quinn as Human Torch. Joseph Quinn played Eddie on Stranger Things. This is my dream casting. When I heard that he was in talks to play Human Torch, maybe, I was like, please let this happen. He's going to do perfect. And then we have Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, which I wasn't on board with until someone brought something to my attention. This is not going to be an origin story. It can't be. That'd be so fucking boring and so stupid. I think this Fantastic Four is going to be older, and I think they're going to have kids like they do in the comics. Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic. that's why they're getting Pedro Pascal, because he always plays the dad. That's like his new thing. He was a dad in Wonder Woman.
Right.
He was a dad in Last of Us, and he was a dad in Mandalorian. He's always the dad.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I don't have an issue with him. I've heard nothing but everybody being upset that he was casted. Were you holding out that he got a better role in the MCU? I feel like most of the big ones have been taken.
I'm just happy it's not John Krasinski.
I feel like that's what people wanted. And
they're wrong. They're wrong.
I also was like, oh, cool, he got a multiverse cameo, but like, I'm good.
No, I think John Krasinski's inclusion in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a perfect like reason like why he shouldn't play Mr. Fantastic. Like that was not a great performance. It was a cool cameo. No one expected it. But after I was done watching that movie, I was like, okay, and now cast someone else. We did it. We did the meme. We got the guy from The Office to play the Fantastic Four. Cast someone else, please. And they did. And they cast a seasoned actor who has worked with Disney before.
A seasoned actor who's like, can we just talk about like midlife, like that dude must have hit the mainstream in his 40s.
Oh, I know.
Look at how far he's come.
He is on 48 is his how old he is right now.
Luckily
which means
I'm so sorry. Keep going.
No, the first thing I think of when I think of Pedro Pascal, the first role he was in is Game of Thrones.
Right,
and
that's what I thought.
He must have been like 37, 38 when he was cast in Game of Thrones. He's on top of the world now at
that's
48,
what I'm saying.
Which is crazy.
That doesn't usually happen that way. It's just good for him.
I wanted Glenn Howerton, but I'm happy with Pedro. Eben Bacharach is good, though. He was also in the Punisher series and Andor. Oh, okay, cool. Interesting. I did watch Punisher. I don't remember him in it, but maybe it was in season 2.
We also have a Lucky. His character is very dead in reference to John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic.
Well, yes, he's dead, but the question was who's going to play him in the other multiverses, and I was like, please not John Krasinski. And I even remember I had to talk with one of my friends who was like, obviously it's going to be him. That's why they cast him. I was like, no, you did just shut up.
They did it for the meme.
Here's Mason, I'm glad you brought up Glenn Howerton, because here's my take. Here's what I've been saying for months. Glenn Howerton as Mr. Fantastic, and then you get why can't I think of their names? Just cast It's Always Sunny as the Fantastic Four. Get Sweet D as Mrs. Fantastic. Get Mac to play the Human Torch, and then get Danny DeVito to play the Thing, and then get Charlie Day to play Dr. Doom.
That's my hope for this Deadpool movie. The one of the multi. Did you say get I can't think of his character name, but his real name. Get Glenn to play Dr. Doom?
No, Glenn's going to play Mr. Fantastic. Glenn Howerton. Dennis is going to play Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, who's Charlie?
Charlie's Dr. Doom.
Oh, I don't know. Dennis would make an amazing Dr. Doom.
You got to look at him next to Mr. Fantastic.
I know. He looks just like him. Oh, but he plays such a good dick.
They just have they have the dynamic. They have the straight man.
You're right.
They have the blonde woman. They have the crazy motherfucker. They have the guy who could do just a voice, and then they have the hothead. It's perfect. No, but the casting is great. I don't know Vanessa Kirby from my own elbow, but I'm sure she's gonna play.
I also couldn't figure out if I've ever seen her in anything. Or
let's see. Just a brief. What have you been in, girl? Pieces of a Woman, Mission Impossible, the new one, Napoleon, Hobbs and Shaw, Mission Impossible 6. That's basically it. And then she'll be in the next Mission Impossible. So she's coming up now. Perfect time to get into the MCU. Also perfect time to get into the MCU when you're on top of the fucking world and you're in everything and you're in every IP and you work for every company and your name is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, no, he's taken us by storm. Funny thing is, he was so upset after the second season of The Mandalorian, being like, "My biggest role, and nobody's gonna see my face." And it's like, bro, chill. Everybody loves you. You're gonna be in a lot more shit.
But yeah, you a few minutes ago asked blah blah blah, waiting for Pedro Pascal to be cast as someone better in the MCU. I'm struggling to think of who he like. I guess like he wouldn't be terrible as Ghost Rider, but I think Mr. Fantastic is a better Ghost
fit.
Rider or Silver Surfer, the two that have been up in the air for a while. But I think Mr. Fantastic is still better. I know this is not a popular character, but I feel like Pedro Pascal could play a really good Forge, the X-Men, although I don't think we're going to get Forge, the X-Men in the movies anytime soon. So I think this is fine. I think this is great. I think that he's going to do a really good job.
I think he could also play a very good alt-universe Iron Man.
Oh, sure.
I think he could. That would have been a waste of a role on him, especially because it would definitely be a cameo, but I think he would have been great then. Langwell says, I feel old because I hear actress names and I have no idea who they are. I don't think you're old, at least on this one. I don't think it's because you're old. I think she just hasn't done anything. End of sentence.
No, she's making her. She's been in 3 Mission Impossible movies and 1 Fast and Furious movie. You know, she's making a name for herself just in the movies that you and I don't necessarily watch.
Right.
So
Pedro Pascal is Scott. Pedro Pascal
as Scott Summers. No, I don't love that. Scott Summers is Cyclops. I don't love that.
The dude doesn't want to wear a mask of any kind. He wants you to see his face.
Big question is Pedro Pascal going to have a beard or not? Because, like, probably. I guess it doesn't matter. There's been some talk about Mr. Fantastic beards. I don't think I give a shit whether Mr. Fantastic has a beard or not. And I think I'm okay with Pedro Pascal just looking like a Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. If it'll, because the alternative is what he looked like in Wonder Woman 84, and he looked kind of weird.
I think that was on purpose. Of all things,
he was supposed to be unsettling.
I think he was supposed to look like he's coked out or something.
No, of all my problems with that, just really bad movie, Pedro Pascal, once again, good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcast video essays, Let's Plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.